How about now? Yeah, they should.
No audio.
No audio.
Interesting. What do we want to do? Yo, check, check, check. 1 2 1 2.
Okay. Oh, this is okay. Thanks, Paula. Let me do a re-intro. Hey, okay, let's do this again. Hey, it's Coach Jill, and it is Friday. Welcome to the membership call. And I am here today with two special guests. Drew Canoli is joining us, Kusha Karvande, and this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we're pumped.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this every week.
You bet.
And Kusha, thanks for joining us as well.
Amazing, amazing.
And today we wanted to talk about the importance of getting rid of holiday weight gain, any issues that you could be dealing with, and then also adrenals, thyroid.
Yep.
We got some really cool breathing. We got a neuroscientist here, basically, Kusha, who's going to go over some drills. Jill's been running this, so you know what kind of questions we get every single week.
Yep.
We want to save time for you. So if there's any question that you ask, if this is your first time joining us, even if you're joining us from Facebook Live or you're somewhere where you're not a member, we have an amazing membership community where people just like you come together every single day and they solve their own problems as well as getting this delicious content and applying it to their life as well.
Yeah.
So we are revved up. We are excited to jump on in this right away. Ready to rock it?
Let's rock it.
Cool. How do you want to do this?
Well, let's talk about the 5 things that you can do to make the holidays better.
5 things you can do. I'll grab number 1, and that is, if you guys haven't checked out the Identity video series in the membership site, we want you to go there and look at those. Formulating your identity through the transformation process is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah.
And that's just getting your vision straight with your why. We found that through the thousands of people that have been through our coaching, once you do that, you'll start to recognize that you have far more control over what you're putting in your mouth and, more importantly, what you're putting in your mind every day when you get to why you want to transform, or even outside of that, why you want to have $1 million in your bank or whatever your end goals are in life or whatever it is. When you figure out what your why is, it's that much more powerful.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And
think about your testimonial. And give us a 30-second snapshot of where you are compared to where you were.
30-second snapshot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, a year ago, I was living in Wisconsin, still on my weight loss journey.
Yeah.
And in a bad marriage. And I now have lost 100 pounds. I live in San Diego, and I love my life every day.
Wait a minute. You love your life?
I love my life.
Are you serious?
I love
Look at
my
this
life.
smile. Can you tell she loves her life? She is glowing right now. And it started with what?
Fit life.
Yeah. And the why,
Fit life.
right?
Yeah.
So your why at that time, when was the break back moment where you were like, all right, enough is enough. I'm going to do this. Remember that?
September 2013, when I saw your video for Alpha Reset. And
Nice.
I pushed the button without a doubt in my mind.
How'd you push it again?
Just like
All right. So has everybody done the Alpha Reset? If you have not, write yes in the comments. We want to see how interactive you are. Debbie Stewart, I know you've done the Alpha Reset. I've seen your beautiful pictures. Anybody else? Have you done the Alpha Reset out there? That was Jill's tipping point.
Yep.
Doing that. I was just on an interview, and these couples were kind of having issues, and I'm like, well, you just need to do an Alpha Reset together. It will solve all marital issues when you do the Alpha Reset together. You'll have more love for that other human being than you ever thought possible. Paula's done it. Kavata. Kavata Kithome. I like that name. It just kind of rolls off the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Debbie's done it. Anybody else? Write yes in the comments if you've done the Alpha Reset. If you want to get access to it, where is it in the membership?
It is under programs inside the membership.
Under programs inside the membership. Easy, simple to find.
Yes.
So.
All right. Let's talk about environment.
Environment?
Yeah.
You want to tell them about it?
I'd love to talk about environment.
Okay.
Coming up with the holiday season, and everybody associates the holiday season with food. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. It just doesn't have to be that way. Whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas, even New Year's, it does not have to be that way. Rethink that and think about why you're celebrating the holidays, whether it be with family, with friends, coworkers that you now see all the time. Anyways, think about that and refocus that. If you don't want to put it in your body, don't bring it in your house. It's that simple. You know, people are going to give you gifts. They're going to give you cookies, baked goods. You know what? Have one and take the rest to work, or give it away, give it to a neighbor, give it to somebody. You don't have to eat it. Nobody is telling you have to eat it.
Yeah.
So just don't have it.
And one thing I did in the beginning with my environment is I made a list of all the good stuff, like the marine phytoplankton, the algae, the spirulina, the hushu wu, all of these crazy hippie voodoo herbs and other tinctures that I was drinking at the time. And every time I had it around the holiday, I would just check it off the list. And the more my vibration increased, the better I felt, the less I wanted to choose those other things to do anyway, right?
Exactly.
And Organifi, I mean, it has ashwagandha in it, it has all this stuff. So just start your day with that. And the likelihood of you deciding to do something worse is a lot less. We talk about the power of habit a lot, right? Charles Duhigg, the book. When you start your day doing something different that you're not used to, you're going to be prone to stick with something that's more beneficial for your brain.
Exactly.
You start to rewire those neural processes in your brain. And over time, instead of a 2-lane little road, right, those little brain highways, it becomes like this mega highway, this infrastructure that forces you to stay on path and on plan that you never deviate from, because now your neurochemicals are rewired and you're just addicted to being positive. And that's where you are.
Yeah.
You know, the likelihood of you cheating or falling off for a long time doesn't exist anymore.
No, does not. And not only that, the guilt that went along with cheating previously is just not there. It's not a cheat, it's a treat. And so that piece of guilt is completely gone.
So you're treating now.
Yes.
So when you do eat something like the piece of chocolate we just had,
yes,
can we say how good that chocolate was?
Chocolate was amazing.
That was good.
Isn't that good?
That was amazing.
So you don't feel bad about it and you love it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So who do we got? We got Rashawn Orth, who said, for the last 2 years, I prepared my own meals and brought them with me. Perfect. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I like that.
Let's look at the next. Let's talk about vision.
Cool. I can talk about that.
You want to give them the ninja hack, the drill?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll do it. So before we show you the actual drill, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. So the brain's primary job is to create a clear map of where your body is relative to space. And when it doesn't have an ability to create a clear map and it creates a blurry map, then your ability to tolerate stress is diminished. And the things that play into that are your eyes, your vision system, your inner ear or vestibular system, and also your body's nerve endings. So these are the kind of 3 satellite systems that feed information to the brain so it can create that clear map. For most people, we look at a computer all day, we look at a phone all day, we sit too much, we don't get enough inner ear stimulus because we're not active enough, or when we are active, when we exercise, we're doing uniplanar motion, we're on a treadmill running in one direction, we're sitting on a machine. So a lot of these systems in our body, they degrade, and thus neurons in the brain degrade. We get brain degeneration. That degeneration of the brain leads to this blurry map, which leads to your stress hormones and stress levels going up, and little things set us off. And the other thing about that is that it builds a pattern. So as your brain gets used to stress, it gets very good at getting stressed easier and easier. So little things set you off when they really shouldn't. So the one thing I want to show you is an easy vision drill to help increase the activity of those neurons so that system, that satellite system, gives better information to the brain so the brain can create a clearer map so you can have better stress levels, so you can modulate your stress a little bit better throughout the holiday season or anytime. Before you do it though, first I want you to establish a baseline. So what you want to do is you want to stand up. You're going to do a simple toe touch. So for example, you just bend over, touch the toes.
I'm going to do this too.
Touch my toes.
Yep, just quick toe touch. We're doing the toe touch to establish a baseline of flexibility, because the thing about the nervous system is that when we give good information to the brain, not only do we lower stress, but we also increase performance. We increase mobility, we increase strength. Basically, the brain takes the brakes off of us when it gets good information, when it doesn't feel as threatened. So we're going to use that as a baseline. So next, the drill that we're going to do is you're going to take your finger, you're going to hold it at arm's length, sit up very tall, and then pull your finger towards your nose until it splits into 2. And then push it back out, follow it with your eyes, and then bring it back. Doesn't matter if it gets blurry, just until it splits into 2, and then push it back out. And do that one more time.
May, can you adjust the light real quick?
And then push it out. That's it, just 3 reps. Then you're going to stand up, you're going to do your toe touch again, reassess, see if you got a little more mobility.
More mobility?
Yeah, I actually did. I feel a little bit looser.
You do me a favor. You turn it down on the inside.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, May Desmond is here. I just wanted to call her in. Is that better on the light? Somebody was saying there's too much light. Maybe it's this.
Yeah, it could do that.
Yeah. Can you guys see him a little better?
Let us know if the light is better. Let's move on here. Let's move on to breathing.
Everybody say hi to May. Hi, May. Write it in the comments.
Hi,
There
you
she
guys.
is.
I'm gonna come in at the end and give you guys a special announcement about 2016. Okay.
Bam.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's move on to breathing. Let's talk about breathing.
Yeah. Breathing can absolutely change your entire way of being, right? And there's a proper way to breathe. Kusha knows this. You know this as well. And one of the meditations that I do every day is where you actually are sitting in a zazen like Zen style of meditating, where your hands are like this on your root. As you look out, you're focusing on one object and you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, your peripheral vision opens up and you see everything. And that lowers, we talk about the vagus nerve, right?
Yeah, vagus nerve, cranial nerve number 10.
Yeah, that lowers your stress hormone, your fight or flight response. So there's different breathing exercises you can do. Why don't you tell them about nitric oxide production when you actually breathe through your nose, and maybe a drill that they can do for breathing as well?
Yeah, nasal breathing actually helps produce more nitric oxide. And so there's a certain method called Buteyko breathing, Buteyko. And Dr. Buteyko helped heal tons of patients, mainly asthmatics, with breathing drills. And one of his breathing drills that I like was breath holding. So essentially while you're walking, if you're out and about or while you're exercising, whatever, as long as it's not heavy, rigorous activity, just light walking. While you're walking, you basically hold your breath for as long as you comfortably can. And then once you can't hold it anymore, you want to breathe into the nose comfortably. You don't want to be rapidly or panicked breathing. You want to breathe in again and then try to repeat and do that maybe 2 or 3 times. And this does a few things. It helps not only with getting more centered and being more focused and reducing stress, but it also, from a physiological level, it helps reduce or bring back balance between O2 and CO2 in the body. Because when you're stressed, you don't realize it, but you're actually breathing at a slightly faster pace than you would normally be breathing. Usually you're supposed to breathe, I think, 12 to 14 cycles per minute. And if you're stressed, you're actually in a state of hyperventilation where you're actually probably breathing 18 to 20 cycles per minute. So that state of hyperventilation leads to an imbalance in the body between oxygen and carbon dioxide. And we actually need carbon dioxide in the body in order to lower stress and have all these metabolic processes work effectively. Otherwise, you get sluggishness, you get inflammation, and so forth. So it's a very, very effective drill. I highly recommend it.
Nice. What do you guys think? Was that good information? Good content? Give us a big hell yeah in the comments if that was great information. Nice.
Can we dig into some questions?
Yeah, do we want to get into questions? Talk about adrenals for a minute?
Yeah, let's talk about adrenals.
Right, foods for adrenals. One of my favorite things right here. You guys all see this? This is made basically daily, right? Lemon, ginger, turmeric, shots. Have you done a shot yet?
I have not done a shot
We're
yet.
going to do a shot after this.
Nice.
It's strong, right?
Oh my,
Lots of fresh turmeric.
it's good.
And one thing about this, we're actually coming up, we've been working on it for a while, is our own turmeric product. There's so many benefits to turmeric.
I love turmeric.
And ours is full spectrum, meaning that it not only has the antioxidants and all of the protective mechanisms, the constituents of curcumin, but also we have the water soluble turmeric as well.
Yes.
Right. So it's a higher quality, 4 times more effective. And we're going to be bringing that out to the marketplace in the next probably month. So we've been working real hard on that. Beautiful, beautiful glass bottle that it comes in. And it's just really high quality stuff. And the evidence behind turmeric, I mean, they've done thousands of case studies of how it can benefit your adrenals, your liver, your heart meridian, and your overall chi, right? It gets stagnant blood moving in Chinese medicine. So,
Not to mention it's great for inflammation.
yeah, great for inflammation. One of the best things, not just inflammation in the body, but inflammation in the brain, neuroinflammation. And that's why Alzheimer's and a lot of these cognitive diseases are springing up on us. What is it? Alzheimer's is like one of the fastest growing cognitive diseases there is.
Yeah, they're starting to call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes.
Yeah. So it's all relative. And if you look back at it, it all starts with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Your body just doesn't know how to get rid of the bombarding of toxins that are out there. Back 5,000 years ago in ancient Ayurveda, the Ayurvedic doctor used to take care of the king with turmeric to get rid of poisoning, because people used to poison the king, try to kick him off, get him out of the throne. Or now, what are we poisoning ourselves with? Toxins of pollute cars, right? How
Cars.
much exhaust is out here? Look at all these cars. I want to show you guys where I live. There's cars everywhere.
Well, it's exhaust, it's processed foods, it's alcohol, it's caffeine, it's all of those things
Yeah.
causing inflammation in the
Yeah.
body.
Fluoride in our water, birth control, estrogenic chemicals in our dry cleaning that rob your body of glutathione.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Turmeric actually helps naturally produce glutathione levels in your body, GST,
Mhm.
Yes.
which is pretty interesting. What did you find out in your research about turmeric?
Well,
What's
it's
your
funny
favorite
because I feel like in today's day and age, everyone talks about high intensity exertion, more, doing more,
thing? Yeah.
and nobody talks about recovery. And I feel like you would get much better results from a health and fitness standpoint by just implementing a few recovery tactics. And turmeric is a simple one because it pervades so many different things. It pervades, thyroid health, adrenal health, anti-diabetic, all kinds of health benefits by using turmeric. So it's a very, very simple recovery hack in that way.
And one thing that was interesting to me as well, outside of the recovery, was that actually they tested it against antibiotics, which was pretty interesting. And it didn't beat them, right? Normal antibiotics, but it came in a close second. But what they found was, as we all know, antibiotics actually killed a good bacteria in the flora as well, whereas turmeric didn't.
Right.
So now turmeric was in there destroying bad bacteria, but it didn't have any of the side effects of being bad for your gut.
Exactly.
And we know how important the gut is. 80% of our immune system resides in the gut. So if we start changing our gut, then we're going to crave things. We're going to sleep better, right? We're going to just feel better. And that's everything that the adrenals want.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. Awesome. Let's dig into some questions. Let's do some
you want to take
questions.
some questions?
I think we should.
So are we ready for a Q&A?
All right.
Kavada says stress.
Let's see.
Oh, there's the questions.
Yeah.
They've already submitted these?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God, these guys are on top of it.
Wow.
I love this.
That's cool.
Let's see. Let's talk about
Let's talk about juice, baby. Let's talk about... All right, what do we got?
Let's go to some. Oh, Takusha, here's one for you. Is there a test to help determine your metabolic type or what foods you should be eating for your type?
Yeah, there is. The best way for that, I would say, would be to look at your blood type. If you actually look at some of the research out there, there's a guy, Peter Diadamo, who's written some stuff on it, the blood type diet. Most of that research is actually done by his father. And so he's kind of watered it down, diluted it a little bit. But there's a ton of correlations between your blood type and what you can metabolize, or what metabolic type you are, and what foods you can handle. So I would test that. I would try it. In the past, we talked about ways to kind of hack that and see with pulse rate and temperature, being able to see what you can respond to. So that's another way you could. But essentially, I would check that out, see how your body best responds to those foods based on your blood type, because there's a decent correlation there.
Excellent.
I went to Sanaviv in Baja, Mexico, and it's just like they've been around for hundreds of years or something. And they help people heal with cancer, and they test your metabolic type. And one thing they had me do is fast for like 18 hours. And then the next morning I woke up and they're like, hey, we want you to drink a half a cup of sugar. And we want you to see how your body responds, how it metabolizes the sugar.
Yep.
And I crashed, right?
Mhm.
Like right after. So I realized right there that I was more of a fat burner. Like fat was good for me as opposed to sugar and stuff like that. But everybody's different. I mean, there's people that could eat carbs all day long and feel absolutely fine with it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it rests in intuition, how you feel when you eat it, the way you look, right? I was talking to my psychologist, Doug Brackman, and he talks about mesomorphs and how we eat differently as a mesomorph versus an ecto or an endomorphic type body type. And you can tell a lot by a person, not only from a psychological sense, but from what they should be eating in their diet based on the way they look, which is very fascinating. I thought that was interesting.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
So Drew, here's one for you. Tell me how to integrate more ashwagandha into my diet.
Yeah. Well, it's in Organifi, right? And the recommended clinical dose is around 3 milligrams. And that's the actual serving size in Organifi as well. Now you could buy capsules at Whole Foods. They sell them there as well, and take them that way once a day. You could sprinkle, ashwagandha powder on your food, like whatever you want to do with it. It's kind of a bitter tasting root though. So I probably wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend just getting Organifi and taking that.
Exactly.
That's a great question though. Who was that? We should send them out a sample of our go-to packs.
That was Kay Chow.
Kay Chow.
Let's look at this. How does someone who suffers from IBS change their diet to best suit them? Great question. You know, with IBS, you're really dealing with a lot of your gut, and gut health is something that we talk a lot about, and probiotics. But not only with IBS, you have a lot of absorption issues with IBS because of oftentimes you can get dumping syndrome with that. You get cramping. So changing your diet overall, you know, whole food eating, getting juicing, incorporating juicing on a daily basis, probiotic, all those are really great ways to help to get your IBS under control, as well as stress reduction. So some of what Kusha talked about earlier with learning to breathe and the vision drills, getting that stress under control.
I think, you know, you guys have heard my Mindset Mondays and stuff, and hopefully, maybe you haven't. Maybe like, who the hell is this guy on this thing, you know? But you know, a great book that I read a long time ago was by Louise Hayes, right? Hay House author. And she talks about the underlying mental/spiritual problem of every disease. And if we look at IBS is, you know, irritable bowels. So is there something in your life that you can't stomach? Is there something that happened in your past that you have a hard time keeping inside of you, right? Because it's literally, you have fluid, you have stuff leaking out of you. Is there something that you can't hold on to? And if there is, then really search your psyche, your mind, your spiritual identity, and really just decide to let it go. Decide that it's no longer a part of you.
Yeah.
And I think in that mental switch, that transformation that you have in the mind, the body will start to correspond. And actually in our research of turmeric's one of the greatest things for IBS as far as what I was reading, because it helps repair the gut. One of the great things to mix it with would probably be kefir and turmeric together. I actually used to be intolerant to dairy. Every time I'd had dairy, I would have to go to the bathroom like 20 minutes later and have diarrhea. And I started having kefir and turmeric mixed together, about 3 milligrams. The stuff from Whole Foods, it had pomegranate and blueberries. It's at every Whole Foods there is. Mix that in, tastes absolutely amazing. And it got rid of my intolerance to dairy.
Okay.
So start to supplement. And you're right, fermented foods, kimchi, you know, all of these, sauerkraut.
Bone broth.
You used to be the fermented queen, right? Making sauerkraut every day.
I still do. I make my own water kefir, my own kombucha, my own sauerkraut. Yeah.
Nice.
You've had kombucha today already?
I did, yeah. I had some today.
I haven't had it yet.
Bone broth. Bone broth is big.
Bone broth too.
Bone
for
broth.
gut health.
Yeah.
I got more bone broth for you guys too on your way out.
Nice. That's why I came here.
Let's talk about, Kusha, here's one for you. What herbs to take for adrenal fatigue?
Well, for adrenal fatigue, so this is the thing. When it comes to the adrenals, a lot of people focus on actually trying to repair the adrenals themselves, the organs. And what we really want to be thinking about is the connection between the brain, this area of the brain called the hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland, which is basically a pathway to the adrenal. So it's basically, we're looking more at the pathway that there's a miscommunication or some kind of disruption in that pathway, and that's what we're trying to fix. And so again, we're trying to fix an issue with the brain, not necessarily the adrenals. So when it comes to that, in terms of herbs, ashwagandha is a big one. So again, what we talked about earlier, the Organifi or the ashwagandha itself can be very, very useful. Basically, any kind of Ayurvedic adaptogenic herb like ashwagandha can be very useful in that regard, because it's going to help normalize your stress level. It's going to create that sympathetic parasympathetic balance that your brain needs to help the adrenals help repair.
I'm glad you mentioned the functional medicine perspective of it as well, because there's a lot of even naturopathic doctors that will treat the adrenals specifically, and it just simply doesn't work. You know, if we look at neuroinflammation, inflammation of the brain and the hypothalamus, exactly what you're talking about, if that's all inflamed, then it's not going to be able to send the signal that the body needs to actually correspond and give you the sleep that you need to lower cortisol and actually fix the adrenals in the first place.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, usually it's a higher order issue like that, but not always. So, you know, if it is something that's been very chronic, and if it is severe, then yeah, you would want to see a doctor, or maybe a naturopathic doctor. And in that case, they'll do tests to see maybe it's a lower order issue. Maybe it is a adrenal issue, and specifically what layer of the adrenals, because you have 3 different layers regarding your DHEA, cortisol, and some other stuff. They'll look at where's the issue lying there and how can they treat it.
And I love, you know, you have doctors every single day. You have a bunch of doctors that you can visit. Dr. Breathing, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Sun, Dr. Food, right? Nutrition. So as long as you're checking in with each one of those, one of the best ways to beat adrenal fatigue is actually eat nutritious food, not just macronutrients, but micronutrients, and sleep like a baby, right?
Yeah.
What do they say? Sleep like a baby, train like an animal, eat like a horse, grow like a weed.
Okay.
I like it.
Hey, let's touch on this one because this comes up quite frequently. Drew, I'm going to put this one over to you.
Yeah.
Wanting to live a healthier lifestyle, but the income is low. So how do I make that work if I can't afford organic?
If you can't afford organic, you just get the highest quality that you can. There's local farms around you, probably. Even when I went up to Michigan to visit my family, you have to prepare a little bit more, but you can always get veggies from farms and save it. And there's different freezing ways that you can freeze vegetables differently and stuff like that. And also grass-fed meat from farms. And there's ways to do it. It's not as easy as it is for us in California. I'll give you that, to eat healthy on a budget. But if it's important to you, you will find a way. So it's just getting over the excuse that I don't have the money. Because even in the phrasing of have the money to eat healthy, you're limiting your supply, right? So I think that's the big switch that needs to happen, is instead of looking at the world through how can I save, start looking at the world through what can I give. Supply doesn't come from saving. It never has. Supply actually comes from the pouring. It comes from giving day in and day out. What can I give? Parables throughout all ancient scripture have always said that the more you give, the more you get in return. And that's so incredibly true. When the Apostle Paul visited this woman that had only oil in one piece of bread left to her name, and she had to pay taxes or something, they were going to take her away. He said, go pour the rest of the oil in a pan and put the bread in there. So she listened to Paul. She actually did it, but what she realized is that the oil continued to pour over and over and over again, and that was her supply, and letting go and realizing that it was within her this whole entire time. So it's more of a mental issue than I think it is, that we have to work through always. And I'm still working through it. You're still working through it. It's something that we have to do as human beings.
Exactly.
But finding local farmers markets, building relationships with those farms is so crucial. We have specialty produce here, Susie's Farms, that we built relationships with. So just finding good people that have that stuff.
Even some of these major distributors like Costco, for example, you can buy frozen veggies in bulk for relatively inexpensive. A huge bag of frozen broccoli or whatever it may be is a lot cheaper organic than it used to be.
So even if Sam's Club or Costco is 4 hours away from you, get in your car and drive 4 hours to go get a month's supply of frozen veggies. And at least we're not in a wagon and a buggy like Oregon Trail,
Okay. We'll take a couple more questions. Here's a good one. What's the best time to take your probiotic?
I take it first thing in the morning. Have you guys heard about postbiotics?
No. Tell us first of all, why do you take it first thing in the morning? What's your
Because
reason?
I'm empty stomach, just flooding your body with healthy bacteria, that kind of thing, right?
Excellent.
First thing in the morning. And that's one thing that I don't do every single day. Sometimes I forget to take my probiotics, but I also eat tons of greens all the time. I'm making smoothies, all this, which actually prebiotics in your gut, which create probiotics. So if your diet's high in those types of things, maybe you don't need to take a probiotic every day. If you're not getting 7 to 14 servings of restricted starches like potato, all these other things, then you probably want to take a probiotic first thing in the morning.
So we're not talking about postbiotics.
Yeah. So I interviewed Dr. Karazian, which we love his work, right? Why my brain isn't working. And he was telling me about this fascinating study, how prebiotics are what probiotics eat, but then what probiotics actually make at the end of this is postbiotics. So now there's a study going around where they're actually taking postbiotics of healthy animals that are lean and have these fat burning hormones elevated higher, and they're putting these postbiotics inside obese animals. And what they're seeing is that it's actually completely changing their whole entire makeup of their gut, which dictates what they crave, what they eat. So you could have an animal that was craving Oreos, and all of a sudden you switch out some postbiotics, and all of a sudden they like green juice. I thought that was fascinating.
That's very cool.
You know,
Yeah, there's actually some research to show that people who are thin and fit have a different gut biome, different bacteria in them naturally, and a different gene expression of gut bacteria than obese people. And when they've taken, I think they've done some studies where they've taken some of that bacteria and swapped them, and they saw that the skinny people would gain weight when they took the obese people's bacteria, and the obese people would lose weight, they'd get thin. And so, yeah, the bacteria itself, the thing that's interesting about bacteria is that they can swap DNA. They have the ability to swap DNA and kind of flourish in any environment.
Yeah. Which is so fascinating. I mean, we're on the cutting edge of so many health just breakthroughs.
Love this.
But knowing that if that happens in your bacteria and 90% of your body's bacteria, you got to focus on feeding them first instead of feeding you as a human being, that craves hamburgers and French fries every once in a while or pizza. Well, what does your bacteria crave? My bacteria loves celery.
Yeah.
I will eat a whole thing of celery in one sitting. People look at me like I'm crazy, but I know that my bacteria loves it, and it actually tastes good now.
And we have to think of the bacterial biome doesn't stop in the gut. We are one with bacteria on the skin and the body, so you have to be careful about a lot of these antibacterial soaps that have something called triclosan in it that'll kill your biome, and it disrupts the environment. It changes the environment, which affects your gut. So that there's some interesting stuff like they're talking about. Some research about depression in the Northwest. And a lot of people traditionally think that in the Pacific Northwest, depression is very high because of the weather, because it's dark and gloomy. But then they saw the similar rates in Arizona where the weather is opposite. So the theory is really that it has little to do with the weather and the light and more to do with the biome.
Yeah, bacteria.
Bacteria, exactly.
And inflammation in the brain. If there's a certain area, and you would know this probably, that dictates whether or not those serotonin and those other neurochemicals are going to be transmitted to emit those happy chemicals. And if that part of your brain's actually inflamed from the food you eat, the microglia, if you're not on an anti-inflammatory diet and you're depressed, then that's a sure tell indicator that you need to remove those anti-inflammatory things from your body so that your brain can actually transmit those neurochemicals effectively. And your depression ultimately goes out the window. Right?
Amazing.
Yep.
But everybody's doing it the opposite. Hey, give me a pill, Joe. What do you got today? Give me some medicine. I'm going to pop that, and all of a sudden my depression's going to go away. But I'll be able to eat whatever I want, right? If I take this pill.
There's no magic pill.
Let that food be that medicine, and that medicine be that food.
Amen.
Boom.
Bam.
All right. Well, with that, and I know we have a lot of great questions, and we will get these answered for you. But we're coming to the end of our time here. So a couple quick things I want to let you know. If you enjoyed this call today, please come join our membership. We'd love to have you. You can get a free membership. I will put the address in here, but it's www.fitlife.tv/join. We'd love to have you join us.
Yep, absolutely complimentary, guys. Normally $37 a month. If you're on this and you're desiring to actually be a part of this community, where we do we do these every 2 weeks?
We do these every week.
Every week we
Every
do these.
week.
We always have special guests on. May joins every once in a while. Kusha and I join every once in a while. Jill runs this thing. And we would love for you to be a part of our membership community. We're actually adding a bunch of new content there as well, right?
We are adding new content.
We got video series in there. It's gamified, so you can actually compete against each other to win prizes. We're working on deals with Cubbings for free juicers, blenders giveaway from Blendtech, maybe even some Nike shoes. Everybody likes Nike shoes, right?
Nice.
So if you commit to watching videos and getting points, and we're going to call them inspirational impact points. So if you're in the community and you're actually helping other people transform, you get points awarded towards that.
Amazing.
So instead of just a big thumbs up, you're actually inspiring somebody. You get recognized for helping somebody else change, which fuels your own change. Did I say fuels? Fuels your own change and helps you transform as well. Because when we say we're in this together, we really mean it. And we want you to be part of our membership. And for a small monthly investment of $37, you can do that, which is less expensive than any gym that I've ever been to per month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe there's some other gyms that are like.
Well, the thing that you're going to get with the membership is you're going to get a community. You're going to get support. You're going to have people to talk to ask questions to. You're not alone. And that is a big piece of what makes this unique. Now, that being said, also realize that we do have a wonderful coaching program that is amazing. I am a product of that program. I also coach that program. So we have specials coming up with our coaching program. If you feel like you need one-on-one help, or even if you want to be in a group, we do group coaching as well. So reach out to us. Would love to talk to you. You can email me, jill@fitlife.tv. I'm happy to share information with you. We have a great holiday special coming up. May Desmond.
This
Not
is your
sh-
part, May Desmond.
Not sure where you are.
May's making a smoothie
She's
in the kitchen.
She's sprinting across to come join us.
We call May the Hammer. Yeah.
So, would you like to share the special?
Yeah, well, just a little snippet about it. So thank you guys, by the way, and thank you
Thank you.
so expertly hosting this call, and thank you for joining us on here with all the amazing questions.
Was this helpful, guys? If it was helpful, write yes while you listen to May Desmond do this.
We'll assess how helpful it was.
Everybody write yes right now. Do it.
Hurry. No, really what's super exciting is in the new year, we will be hosting an amazing challenge, a transformation challenge, as we did last year. But bringing the community really together in doing that. So we've got the awesome opportunity to relaunch our coaching promotion. So we're very, very excited to get to do that. You'll see that coming up in the next couple of weeks, which gives you an amazing opportunity to work with one of our certified coaches and get the guidance that you need to have the transformation that you foresee in 2016. But we're also hosting that challenge membership. So really, really important to jump in there. You'll see challenge details going live before the new year, and it's going to be an amazing experience to really feel like we're in this together.
We're going to be giving away some cool stuff too, right?
Absolutely. I know. Drew's like, wants to tell him right now. Don't tell him yet. So yeah, amazing prizes. Really, really cool. We're in this together challenge, and the opportunity to work with coaches and get that set up in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out, and we're thrilled. We can't wait. So
and is it complimentary for people right now if they're not on for like the first 10 days or something like that?
Yes.
Right now we actually have a freemium version of membership. So log in there, you actually get free access, and then there's actually a 10-day trial.
I don't like the word free, by the way.
Freemium.
Complimentary.
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 Complimentary version. Yeah, so we're really excited to get everyone in there, and there is a complimentary 10-day trial of our paid membership, which is very exciting. If you're not an Organifi subscriber, you can have that opportunity as well, which is very exciting. If you are a purchaser of Organifi, you actually have the opportunity to have a free membership, a complimentary membership, because we love you guys so much. So jump in there no matter what and interact. We're really excited about this upcoming year. We've got a lot of stuff in the works for you guys, and it all starts inside membership.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Team.
All right. We will be back next week, Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific. Come join us. Make sure you get registered for that call, and we'll see you next week.
And remember,
we're in this together. Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys. Thank you, Jill.